Hello, everyone. Um, Today we're going to be developing some application. I just want to using Microsoft Power Apps. Um, Before we do that, though, I just want you to know that I created this video. I'm creating this video mainly for students who want to be using Microsoft Power Apps to develop application. Of course, I will give you some hint about what you need to do to be able to subscribe to Power Apps or the platform where it will not cost you to do anything. But again, remember, it's not for production. This is not for production environment. It's for you to practice and to know how to use it. And with that said, let's get started. I know you can't wait. Can't wait either. Thank you. At least learn something. So this is going to give you a brief overview before we actually develop any application today. So this is the guidance for developers and students who wants to learn learning apps. I'm going to go through the PowerPoint gradually. So I'll be paging um, into this. So the takeaway here, again, is a free development environment, and it's going to provide you with fully functional environment ideal for learning and personal experimentation. The requirements, so you're going to have Microsoft Entra ID, which is Azure, um, formerly called Azure directory. So personal emails like Gmail are not supported. So you'll be getting something with, you will learn more about this as we go through when we start the application. So it gives you hands-on on learning opportunities where you can build model-driven apps and canvas, explore premium connectors, and manage data with Dataverse. So it's pretty safe. You can test your application um, um, like real world, give you real world experience. So as I mentioned, Entra ID, formerly known as Azure Active Directory, you will need that. So what is the role of it? So it governs authentication and identity management for secure Microsoft Cloud Access and services, and provides institutional emails backed by Entra ID, ensure trusted authentication, unlike personal email providers. Security and compliance benefit. Your account is backed with provide multi-factor authentication and centralized management for enterprise-grade security. Importance for Power Apps, only an Entra-backed identity can provision Power Apps development environment with trusted access, right? So parts for student, Power Apps, right? Look at here. You will have student user, you will use your institutional backed account to quickly have access to Power Apps developer plan without extra setup. You have a personal developer environment, provides with Dataverse, which is a relational database that will allow you to build tables, relationships, and business logic for app development. Remember, I mentioned something when I was doing something on database, normal forms, if you remember, that was one of my video that I describe a bit of that. We're going to learn more about database for sure as we move forward. Advanced app development tools, students will be able to create canvas and model-driven apps, automate processes, and to explore Premier Connector for testing, secured and control access, right? Centralized permission, directory policy, to ensure a secure, seamless experience, aligned with enterprise IT standard, right? So another part you can use to get free Entra backed, you can this program will allow students to create a free Microsoft E5 developer tenant with full admin privileges. A student create a tenant with on allmicrosoft.com domain, where it will receive a global admin account for development purposes. Using this identity, student will activate developer environment, create Dataverse database, and build apps and workflows. Student will also gain experience managing tenant settings, identity roles, and govern often handled by enterprise IT teams. So if you're trying to set up your Entra ID, here is a way to go. you can go to developer.microsoft.com slash that link there and click join. And you'll be able to provision the environment and you sign on and you can create database in your developer environment when prompted. You start building, creating tables, designs, this automate, Power Automate. Remember all of these things. Once you log into Microsoft to create your account, remember you will have to, if there's any issue, you will reach out to them directly. Another thing you can do though, the other helpful links where you can get, this is, here's the link to Apps Developer Plan that I provide you up there. The next one is Power Plant Community. This is where you can get some help. And I really encourage you to join this community because there was most of the questions that you will need to ask directly. Sometimes when you're developing an app will help you. Other forums I'll mention up there. The hub, the community hub is there. Microsoft Dynamics and Dataverse community is also there. And the Power Platform community also provided that for you. But the first thing you should do, once you get this, though, I would really encourage you to join this particular one first. Then definitely you're going to learn more about the others. All right. So what we're going to do first, we're going to be working with Excel and Dataverse. I'll show you how to do that in a few. So what will happen is there's an Excel file that you import directly into Dataverse, and we create an independent table separate from the original file. In other words, the file, so once you import it, right, it's going to create this. So whatever you do to the Dataverse table in Power Apps will no longer affect the Excel because you have already imported it. So you can live connection versus import. Of course, you can also do a live connection to Excel. This will be when you ask for the paid subscription. This is something we can talk about in future. But what is the benefit of a Dataverse storage? Because this is what Microsoft actually focuses on a lot. It ensures scalability, security, and governance with structured data types and business rule for reliable apps. That's it. Thanks for watching. And again, you will really like this. So without much ado, let's start developing the application to provide you with a simple import. And what's going to happen though, once we do that, next week, you will develop this from scratch, and we'll mention that during the lessons. Thank you. And this is the application that we'll try to develop today. And remember, this will be done automatically for us, and this is the way I want to start it. So by next week but I just want you to know that sometimes I may not be able to release every week because one week it could be that I'm using it for preparation or because of other activities. But you won't miss that much because the more, even though you'll be able to learn more. And I don't want to rush it because if I can go through fast and do something, but we're going to make some mistakes along the road, which is fine. That is why I'm gearing this towards students so that you'll be able to follow at your own pace and gradually. So this is the application that we're going to create. This was imported. This is an Excel spreadsheet file that was used to import the data into Dataverse. And in Dataverse, once in Dataverse, then the application was generated with through Power Apps. And I will show you, this is my developer environment, which I call Dr. I's environment. You can call it any name you want in your own environment. So this is the kind of application, for example, if I'm looking for some coffee, this is coffee machine. If I say I'm looking for cream, something's not right there. You can see how it was able to give me this. And then if I need it, say I want to edit, I can make some changes like this is the world greatest coffee, which I'm going to leave this as is now, but when we're doing hours, we just see it, and there's a whole bunch of other things that was imported. And I'm going to show you. So I'm going to start from the Excel spreadsheet. What happened though was in the past, Microsoft provided a lot of templates that were used. Somehow I went back to when I logged into my environment, I was hoping to find those templates, but they were gone. So eventually I sort of Google it or Bing if you want to use Microsoft search engine. And it says it has been moved or deprecated. And I don't blame you because Power Apps is developing at such stupendous rate that is mind-boggling. A lot of things are coming quickly, even for those seasoned developers. They keep adding more and adding more. But again, we don't want to leave you behind. We want the younger ones, the students now to start learning this process such that at least they will, when in future, because a lot of applications are being developed rapidly. So you don't have to be, we don't have enough professional developers. And if you're a company, you perhaps you cannot afford to hire all these developers, then maybe people who are maybe um, our users can will learn how to develop application quickly to satisfy your needs. This is the idea behind this. And the students, you guys are pretty fast. You learn pretty fast, and you even build on this. So anyway, with that said, and then you can make some changes. Let's say as here, I'm just say that's not what it is, but I'm just gonna for let's just see. Let me see what can I add here that will make more sense. Let me just say I change this to let's just I had something made a mistake. I say FR and I made a mistake there, and I click this. That will stay there. So now it's there, but I say oh something went wrong. I'm gonna change it and just click edit, and for and you can see how this little application was developed. You will notice that this I mean when we're doing hours, you will discover that this is actually without putting any code. This was done automatically for you. But what we're going to do next time is we'll start to develop something similar, like from a blank page. In other words, from blank. In other words, we started from scratch. But when we started from scratch, again, I will let you. We're going to develop each form gradually. That will probably happen in the next couple of weeks, but because I want to really find a way to explain it. One thing is to understand something, another thing to be able to explain it to users to comprehend. So I really want to do, and you can see here you can also display this like an iPhone. You can see how it looks like in an iPhone. All of this the same. Click that off. All right. You can also go back to browser, which is a window size, which is going to be huge, as you can see here. And you can also bring it back to canvas size, like you see here, right? And this is pretty compelling. Remember now, this is very responsive to all this screen size. This is you don't have to do anything about this. It's been done for you automatically. So with that said, I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this up now. And okay, and I will then bring it back so we can have um I'm gonna leave here to provide us the environment. So because remember I have it here so that I was able to, you can start with a plan, but what we're doing this time, we're going to be doing start with data and pick a source and create table to Power Apps. So I'm going to minimize my screen and I want to show you the uh, the data that I was using, which is this one was provided by Microsoft though. That was when we had the templates and there's so much of them, but this is one I was able to get. So I got this data from there once upon a time. And next week, what we're going to do, we're going to develop ours. But in order for us to import this into Dataverse, definitely we have to. Once we create the Excel, the way we're going to do it is you create your Excel and you format as a table. For example, let's say we have 4 rows created. We're just going to highlight those from here. If you put you click on this, let's say for you have you click a shift key and you click this. Let's say you only have 4 rows, then you're gonna go here and just say format as a table, and that would do the formatting. So there's no, and the reason you want to do that is to ensure that to format as a table because we're gonna be importing this into Microsoft. So with that said, let me go back to where I was, and we're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna start with data. Let's start with data, right? I'm gonna go start here, right? And is looking for, so remember, we're not doing exact. If I do this right, what will happen is that it's going to um, connect to a cell that if I have it somewhere, right? But in online, which is OneDrive, okay, we'll talk about this in future, but you don't want to create an application where you're going to be connecting to, but it's okay though, if you want to. If you create a lot of your stuff in Excel, you will connect to it directly. And at that point though, if you made any change to your Excel, it's going to reflect in app. But what we want to do is to import. We're going to import the Excel that I just showed you a moment ago. Then we're going to click on this way, and it's give us the extension. This is the XLXX. If you have something, the old version of this is command separated file and all of that, but we're picking on there. I'm going to say select from a device. So I'm going to my, then go back to my directory where I was there before, and data. This is what I'm importing, right? But let me do something here. Let me try to bring, let me bring it up. Okay, I'm going to open. Click open, and you can see something is going on, right? Something is going on behind the scene, and right. You can see now it gave all this have been imported into here, right? So you can see that I can create the app from here. Right now I can do this. Look at this one here. Say edit, display name. I can call it coffee machine. Let's say, yeah, I put my name there, right? Dr. I, coffee machine, right? You can see that's what I want to call it. And now I'm going to click on create the app. Remember, use force through as the column headers. This one must be on. So now I'm going to, you can see the data that been recorded, imported from the Excel file. And this is in Dataverse now, right? Then I'm going to say create. And let me warn you though, in the process of doing this, there could be problem. Of course, where we can always look for a way to fix it. But let's try at the bottom here. I'm going to click create. Now it's starting to create my app for me. And let's see how long this takes. And again, it shouldn't take that long to get the application. So all right. So now it's loading is loading this for me. Um, just one moment. I'm holding on to the all right. See it was added. Is that's my okay close. So I call it Dr. I to get my still loading. Let's see, everything's done in a minute. So you can see what is going on here, right? All right. Everything got created. It says Dr. I coffee. And if I'm clicking, if I'm trying to run it, you can see now this have you got created for me, right? Now let's say I tried to see the data sources. The machine was added. So it gave me this table. This is the data source. And I'm going to exit this out. Let me exit out. Of course, this is providing me with Copilot, which say if I wanted to do something, I want to add screens, all of those things. We're going to do this in future, but you can see how easy this has happened, and just click here. And one of the things I want to show there is on top here, there is this is publish here. This is the property windows to show me something that each time I click on an object here. And one of the things that you want to look at is this, like it's telling me that don't, as I mentioned, these were created for you. And you can see on the at the top here, these are the, for each time I click this, it's going to move around. Let's say I run this now. Let's just try to run this first. You can see that I'm going to make it canvas so you can look a little bit more without taking off my screen. I'll make it canvas size. You can see how this, you can see all of this changing, this coffee. So as I mentioned, this is See how easy this is. If I want to find something, see, of course, I'm going to make changes to this. Remember, I show you, the amount, the money, whatever it wasn't showing. It depends on what you do. I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, I'm going to show you how to do that. Um, so anyway, this how see how fast the application has been. Just came up very quick. Now let me close it here and look at what is here. Like, so I click on this object here, and you can see that the alignment here, right? This is I can put in this is justified. This is align center. You can see how that moves. It's almost like you're doing your word processing, right? Like using the Microsoft Word or any of those Office. You can see how easy this can move around and give you ability to save. I want to give you the name of the app, right? So when I'm saving it, I can call like Dr. Coffee Machine, right? Right now, why not? It's me. I did it, right? All right, so I'm gonna save it. Oh, it says, oh, say I did something wrong there. Let's see. One character start with a space. Oh, my bad there. That's good. Let's say Dr. I. Let's see again. Let's see whether I will do it. Oh, it won't do it. Okay, let me just do it this one. Let's do that and see. All right, so it apparently won't allow me to do that, right? You can see how easy this is, right? And again, it's the name of the app, and I will show you how some of these things that show you something that the functionality that we're going to make some changes to in a minute. Yeah, let me run this again now. Let me run this app again. You can see how do I know which coffee that one's selling me, but I don't see the name here. So it's sort of what am I looking for, right? I'm charging or whatever. I don't know if this is the name is not here. How do I get these names here? All right. And again, this was created for me automatically. Remember, if I'm searching for something, then like which one is it? Which one I'm looking for? I don't even know what is going on there. So what do I do then? Then let me stop this, and if I click on this, you can see it's giving me the average cups per week. These items represent records and the properties, the columns that is referencing the entire record. So if I want to change this, let me change this to, if I click a period here, you're going to see that it's giving me all these columns that is available, right? So if I click this, you can see how this changes quickly, right? That is the item that is the column that I really want to retrieve, and that will give me the fact that that's what I'm looking for. Then if I look at the second one here, it's a average per week. Is that what we had there before was probably the remember the name, we can put as the name and this one as the, or perhaps the, no, actually we can, not the name, we want to call this the price. Let's change that to price. So at least that's what we want to do, right? So we can put, once we go there, we're going to go back here again. I'm going to, remember, I'm not doing any programming now. You should know that, right? So I'm going to look at here, where is price? If I go, I should be able to find price. Did anybody see price? Yes, I did, right here. You can see the money is there. Then the last one, let's put the color, COLR, right? And that says black, but how do I know this is black, right? This is, I mean, what is the picture that is coming from it? And let me, on the, remember that, again, as I mentioned, this is Microsoft data at the time that were provided by the template. You can see the data is coming, this photo, right? It's coming, you can see, you see the price that this photo is coming from GitHub, right? And let me try to, you can see, and it's showing me that one, right? It's there, but again, it's gone. We'll show you where it's coming from in the database table. In a minute. Actually, I can do that. We can actually, this can see now that the table, this is the coffee machine now, Dr. I table, this is the name of the table, and we're going to see how we get to this table in a minute. But again, I'm just letting you know that it's right there, then we can make some changes. Now, here, we run it, right? We're gonna save this and we try to run it again. Now at least we get something, right? Now we know this is what we're getting, right? And not only that, okay, this is we can change this to the dollar or even say if I target Nigeria, the naira, we can change this to naira. Maybe, yeah, because let's try to change it to naira to see how it looks like, right? So that way you can see how easy that Microsoft made these things, right? The I'm gonna close it. So um let's go back here. The let's go to this money here, and we're gonna try to look at the how we the how we try to make this so we're looking at the text property. Watch though, when we do this though, it's likely to be going to show you quickly. I'm going to type it in case I run into error. So I'm going just to going to wait for a moment until you see that in a minute. Yeah, you can see that when I look at the text properties, right, and I change the formula, I sort of this item the price and I wrap this around it and I say format this for me, and you can see how it changes. So now, if you want to put it back to, then you can also change it back to the United States. Depends on the country. I'm just trying to let you know how you can make this a little bit more universal. If you're doing the United States currency, then you're gonna do this. Again, you can see how you can change that, right? Which is a dollar, which is so let's do that. And yeah, you can see how I just changed this to dollar sign. And of course, this would be US, right? So that way it took that into consideration fast before. So you can see now is putting United States currency. So now when I run it, and you can see how it works. So again, like I mentioned, any of these objects, you can see like clicking on this, there's a lot of properties that is associated with all of this data, these items that we have here. This is how when you look at, if you say this formula is provided, and I want to tell you this, there have been a lot of changes. And one of the things I noticed was this one, and in future, you're going to see there's a lot of changes. And when you're looking at all these properties, you can actually make some changes to them. But I will explain that, especially when we try to develop everything from scratch. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be the coffee. We're going to create our own data. We're going to create our own input to this. And there's one more thing that I'm yet to do is what about if I wanted, remember those coffee that we had before, they had this, even though you say black, or we don't know. So it has images, right? So what we can do is within this, I'm going to um click this. Something can go wrong now. Don't get me wrong. While I'm doing this, I'm going to click the first one, which I'm going to hold my shift key. And I'm going to click the second one. I'm going to click the third one. What I want to do is trying to move all of to get a room on this side a little bit. Let's try. Hopefully I won't mess up. Oh, okay. Looks like it works. So what I want to do next is to insert an image. Remember the JPG. There was I'm going to look for the media, and what I want to put is an image, right? Right. That's the image you can see. I'm going to stay too much here. I'm going to okay. You can see how you can look at it. When I drop it, you see this item, the photo, the record, and my coffee is ready. And again, as I mentioned, that this is pretty easy, but I want it to be easy for you. You can just think about it yourself, how you can create your table, but that's fine. We just did this and everything is fine. You just create an application. Now you can change, you can do a search, and you can look at here. When you look at this item, there's something I want to show you. I will explain what this is in future when we're actually doing some work. And in other words, it says, okay, where's my data source? This is where it is. The search input.txt is this particular area. The first thing it's going to look for Look for the name of the machine first before you start searching the average per week, of course. You can change this, and then we'll explain this formula because we're not there yet. But what happened is that you didn't create this, remember? You create that, but of course, you can always change the order of sorting, all right? So again, let's try to run our code again and see. Now you can see how beautiful this is. And one more thing though, I want to show before I believe you love it, right? I think so. So the day if you want to delete, and one of the things that Microsoft did, okay, I'm not going to delete now. Actually, let me do, why not? But what happened is that what Microsoft did with this dialogue, it has changed in a way that it's actually people been waiting for. We've been doing some manipulation of this. We're not going to do any manipulation yet, but it was very short, and so it's called confirm. So dialogue, once you do that, if you delete this, right? You see, yes, it's gone. The reason in the past when you delete, it would just delete without any warning, and that is not good because if someone inadvertently deleted something and then, oh my God, why did I do that for? Anyway, with that said, let's try to look at I'm going to close it. I don't want this to be too long, so it becomes so boring. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to go back, right? Say I want to look at let's go back, say, leave here. And there's a reason why, okay, this is my machine. This is the um the machine that I just created. That it was Dr. I machine, which is beautiful. And here you can see a whole bunch of table here. So and that is not this is what we are looking for. This particular one. So this is the table, Dr. I coffee machine. All the other things you see here, they're automatically created. And some of them are custom made. Do not worry, these are Dataverse tables and how this we explain this in future. But all of this, most of this were provided automatically by Microsoft. So you can use them, customize them, right? So let me show you about this one. I'm going to try to edit, right? We're going to try to edit the table. This you can see here. You can do a lot of, you can add columns, you can, the two other columns here that you don't, is checking them to display. We're not going to be displaying all of this. This is telling you the, what is there. So you can see those table, you can make some changes here as well. You can insert rows above or below. So you can see here, you can start adding other things here. You can start adding data, just typing into the table directly. But the reason, because we have, let's say, there's a whole bunch of things here. So I'm going to make sure that when we create our own table, we'll be able to add something to it. And you can see here is, if I can click on this, let me see. If I can click on this and I say edit column, right? If I want to make some changes to the column, it would provide me with here is telling me the format. All of these things I'll be able to explain to you next week. But I just want to let you know that there's all kinds of things that you can do, giving you the number of characters, all the properties that you can associate with tables. So this is pretty, if you want to, if you want to add new column, if you want this, you can click on this and it will provide you with let's say, for instance, I want to add new column, it's going to give me the name and all of that. So this is the reason, like next week, we would create something within Dataverse here. Okay, we would do that such that it will make things easier for you to see. Again, go back. And again, it shows all these tables that you can manipulate. Now you can make some changes. There's an email template. And remember, many of these were provided by most of these were provided, all of it basically, besides the one I just created. Or the table that I didn't even create it, remember? I just import the Excel and everything came. But as I mentioned, next week, we're going to start with our own table. We're going to start creating a blank table. And before we create that blank table, I will give you a little bit of lessons on a little bit of relation on how you can join two tables together, right? How tables are related together, because you will not just create only one table for an application. It wouldn't make any sense, right? All right. I don't want to say too much today, but I really want to get something out there, at least to get you excited, and I hope you are. Until then, Thank you, and see you in a week or two. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.